Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2, or welcome to part 2 of a replay between TheWind and Wacomm. We now see Mutalisk trying to move out, siege tanks in position, Mutalisk trying to come in and trying to deal more damage towards those siege tanks. However, there is one Thor able to deal a lot of damage there, and now those roaches will not be able to engage. Back over here, we do see some medevacs now just giving enough sight to try to take down this extractor over here. I do not believe that siege tank will be able to deal any damage towards that one hatchery over there though. We do see roaches and Mutalisk now trying to get in position, trying to get macroed up strong enough. And army-wise, you can see how strong Wacomm is. Almost double the army size at this stage in the game. We do see a lot of Zerglings and Mutalisk trying to be macroed up. We do see that the command center over here should be upgrading to an orbital or into a planetary fortress in just a moment. Not quite sure why it is not at this stage in the game, but TheWind not relenting, now trying to expand into another base over here at the 7 o'clock starting location. Siege tanks now trying to blast away at this one hatchery, able to deal some damage. There is some transfusion coming in from the queen in order to try to keep it up, but there are so many roaches, so many Mutalisks in the air, but this ledge is just being so well guarded, and now Marines doing a tactical drop into this location here. The Marines, however, not even going after those drones, need to deal some damage towards those drones. There we go, coming in, dealing some damage, and now in come those roaches. Roaches taking some damage, and now the Mutalisks may be able to come in and deal a lot of damage as well. So those Mutalisks in the air using that magic box technique, limiting the amount of splash damage, and now down goes that one Thor. So Wind able to clean up the rest of that there. Mutalisk now trying to finish off the rest of those medevacs, and now we see a movement from the Wacomm here. Siege tanks do have the level 2 weapons upgrade, and now we are also getting the ship upgrades as well. Finally upgrading this to a planetary fortress as he transferred over a whole bunch of SCVs. He needs to come down, clear out these creep tumors in order to take some additional bases. Otherwise he will find himself very much behind in this economic game. Now putting down an amazing 5 racks build in order to be able to just simply macro up even further, getting a lot of creep tumors, clearing them out, and now in come more Mutalisk. Mutalisk will be able to suffer some damage as a Thor now trying to come over, unable to launch any of those javelin missiles. More factories being laid down as well, so you can see now Wacomm transitioning into a very heavy macro style of play. He is running off of a lot of bases, also calling down mules into this location here. Now finally, no more mules left, so I believe this is beyond saturation and not enough SCVs in that gas refinery so far. Turning off the hit point bars right now, those medevacs are now in the air, Marines and Marauders on the ground, and now just trying to fight back and forth. There are some Mutalisks now coming in. We'll be able to clean up many of these factories that were trying to be built. So those factories now getting a lot of damage dealt. We do see some missile turrets now trying to come in as well, and creep tumors just trying to be cleaned up. This is going to be a problem if he continues to use scanner sweeps in order to try to clean up creep tumors. That's always going to be a problem, just because the amount of minerals that you're going to lose. But I guess Wacomm doesn't care. He's sitting on 3,000 minerals as another drop coming in over here. So a drop now all over off to the side. OGS TheWind does not see that currently coming into play. Mutalisk now over here, and now Marine's going to quickly stim in and deal some damage towards these spine crawlers over here. Going after the queen, now going after those drones, and now we'll be able to finish off the spine crawler. Will it be able to finish off this one hatchery over here before the roaches come in swarms? We do see that the hatchery already down to 600, 500 hit points. Will it be able to get cleared off in time? Yes, able to clear off, and now being picked up. So a nice pick up there as Banelings have no more Marines to kill. Mutalisk now on the move back over here. Will be able to snipe down some of those medevacs before all of those units are finished to be dropped. There are some missile turrets, however, so missile turrets able to deal some damage as well as those Mutalisks trying to get the heck out of dodge. However, a lot of damage has been dealt there. So both sides taking heavy casualties so far. Production-wise, we are now getting infestors, and I love this play by TheWind. TheWind now getting infestors as well. Those infestors will be able to get a lot of damage and stop and immobilize those Terran infantry and those medevacs. Level 3 infantry upgrades, level 3 mech upgrades, in addition to the level 2 armor upgrades. So that is going to be a lot of armor, a lot of upgrades compared to OGS TheWind, who doesn't have any upgrades yet. This is very surprising. No upgrades on his roaches. He has upgrades on his Zerglings, but unless he goes for Broodlords, those Zerglings or Ultralights, he's not going to be able to really get all too much. OGS TheWind now trying to lay down a spine crawler here as well, as we now see Marines coming in, cleaning up the rest of these creep tumors, and will finally be able to lay down one command center there as that creep slowly recedes. The command center now being built here may upgrade to an orbital command, may just stay as a planetary, or may just stay here as a planetary fortress in order to try to hold off this location. There are a lot of Mutalisks in the air army-wise. Both sides are very strong. In comes those Marines. Marines trying to fight back against those Mutalisks. Mutalisks have level 1 weapons upgrade, but no armor upgrade against 3-2 Marines. So those Marines dealing 50% more damage against those Mutalisks without upgrades. Level 3 claw upgrades now coming in, and now finally the Ultralisk Cavern, and it does look like we are getting another planetary fortress, but where is that planetary fortress being placed down? I do not know. Planetary fortress on the island looks expansion over here, and a lot of missile turrets as well. There is no weapons upgrade or armor upgrades coming in. Never mind, the armor upgrades now being researched at the engineering bay. Roaches now trying to move out as well. OGS TheWind perhaps needs to get some spore crawlers, get some additional creep colonies all across the map in order to handle this, and this is a very large ground army indeed. A lot of banelings, a lot of roaches, and now with so many banelings on a roll, my video card will probably start lagging just a little bit. Sorry if it gets choppy. I do need a new video card, but yeah, more on that later. Anyways, Mutalisks in the air. And now we're going to go for a... No, we're not going for a bombing run. We're going to go for a straight roach drop. Not even a Nidus network, a straight roach drop into the base here. And now Mutalisks will be able to support this as well. So as these overlords try to drop into this location, they will take some serious amount of damage. And as those Mutalisks now simply trying to come in, and now the roaches are going to be dropping into this location here, we'll be able to snipe down and hit a lot of the production buildings, and that is going to be a problem. The army is now finally on the move. Siege tanks are going to try to stay in this position. Marines and Marauders are now making their way over, but a lot of damage will be dealt. We're going to see Wacomm going to be supply locked in just a moment. A lot of supply depots have already been lost, as more units are now simply making their way up this ramp. Will they be able to stop this? Marines now coming in as well. Roaches on the ground. And now Baneling bombing run now going to come into play again. Baneling's now trying to be dropped out of the sky. No. And was focused down by those Marines. So a very, very nice tactic there. Making sure to limit the amount of damage. Trying to take down any critical upgrades as they're trying to be researched. And the engineering bay will not be able to finish the armor upgrades. We'll see if that has any gameplay value later. We do see the level 1 vehicle plating upgrades. So the Thor currently has 0 armor or 1 base armor. Will quickly be able to get up to 2. And also Wacomm currently supply locked 181 over 183, quickly getting some supply drops and catching back up once again. So more supply depots, another barracks will burn down over here, and now Banelings just on patrol between these two locations want to deal more damage. Those Banelings dealing 43 damage per attack, will almost be able to take down a Marine in one splash. I believe if the level 3 upgrades are coming in, those Banelings may be able to take down a stemmed Marine. We do see what Marauders now once again trying to clear up many of these creep tumors, and this is turning into a north versus south matchup as a Nidus network currently coming online. So obviously, as that Nidus network comes online, things are going to become very, very difficult and for Wacomm to try to be everywhere at once. We do see Ultralisk coming in, and now some Infestors as well. Those Infestors have a lot of energy, and now in comes this attack over here, turning off, and Baneling's now trying to move out, but no, unable to really push in there, does not want to attack there. Wacomm sitting on such a large army, 188 compared to 185. The Terran player just entrenched in this position here as a command center. Most likely will be upgraded to a planetary fortress. Both sides sitting on a large amount of minerals, and Mutalisks just constantly on patrol once again. Greater Spire currently being trained or being morphed into play. Corruptors also being built as well for those fast broodlords, and the Zerg ground carapace also being upgraded. Once again, we do have Ultralists now coming in over here, and those Ultralists may be able to just simply headbutt or claw their way towards this command center. Command center quickly getting taken down. 47 damage per attack there with a very, very nice splash radius. And now the Banelings now simply being dropped out of the sky. Ultralisk now trying to take down some of those Marauders, and now a Baneling simply going to roll back over there, getting some splash damage in as well. Nicely done by Wacomm, able to clean up that very, very aggressive play. Terran building armor now currently coming online as well as those Corruptors over here, and there are currently Vikings also being trained up as well. So perhaps he saw a scanner sweep and was able to see where that spire was. No, does not see anything over here, so he has not even seen or does not know about those Broodlords just quite yet, but those Broodlords are now currently being hatched. Broodlords do take some time to be built, 34 game seconds. We also see some Ultralists now coming into play as well. The Greater Spire, no additional weapons upgrade there, as we're going to get a drop over here. And then perhaps a push over here with those Broodlords. There are some Vikings currently in the air, a lot of Vikings in the air. You can currently see 6-8 Vikings being trained, and now the level 2 weapons upgrade. And as those Broodlords need to attack move very, very quickly, otherwise they're going to be in a load of trouble. We need to perhaps also see a Nidus network over here, as both sides are just trying to figure out what to do. A fleet of Vikings now in the air, and these Broodlords trying to come into this position. Perhaps they will be able to deal enough damage, take down some of these planetary fortresses, and now in come those Vikings. Vikings will be able to finish off so many of these Broodlords, and what a horrible investment by the Wind. Wind not getting any Broodlords or any Corruptors to escort these Broodlords, and down they go. So that was heavy losses, but there are another attack coming in over here. OGS TheWind attacking the main base with Ultralisk, and now Orbital Command on the move, hitting some of these production buildings, so the main base has nearly been destroyed. We also see a lot of Banelings over here, as those Ultralisks are able to just chomp away, and many of these Vikings now with nothing. Oh, an Overlord, 2 Overlords lost in the air by a fleet of Vikings. The Vikings may come in and try to land and deal some damage, take down some of these key tech buildings as well, as there are now a lot of Ultralisks here. Are those Ultralisks going to come in over here and try to deal damage? There are some siege tanks, but those Vikings are simply just cleaning up so many of those Overlords from the Wind, and now the Wind now currently supply locked, as some Zerglings now try to make their way down over here. We'll be able to clean up more of these bases over here, and now we do see an Orbital Command, but it will be very difficult for any Ultralisk to navigate through this maze and get into this location. Vikings are now in the air. Will they be able to offer sight? Of course they will, as OGS TheWind is now slowly starting to choke Wacomm in terms of how many bases he can currently play off of. Terran player now Terran player now just simply cleaning up so many of these Overlords, and now the Wind constantly coming in. We do see one Infestor trying to come in with a fungal growth. Will it be able to? No, not able to get a fungal growth off, and now without a fungal growth, a fungal growth plus infested Terrans equals a lot of dead air units. There are some Ultralisks now in the Ultralisks now once again on the ground, waiting to deal damage, trying to move out. The Catonis plating has been upgraded on the Ultralisks, so those Ultralisks have a natural 6 armor. So the Ultralisks and those Zerglings are fully upgraded. The Mutalisks are not fully upgraded, only 1-0 upgrades. We'll be getting 2-0 upgrades in just a moment. And now taking a look at the missile upgrades, no missile upgrades coming in at all. Back over here, a lot of Overlords and not a lot of drones, so perhaps the Nidus network should be unloaded into here in order to start transferring some of these drones later. Banelings still on the roll, still constantly moving around the map. Perhaps multiple Nidus networks should be set up in order to be able to unload units out of that network very, very quickly. This game does not look like it's going to be ending anytime soon. Army-wise, 6,900 versus 6,575. Both sides sitting very, very pretty. An additional armory now being placed down as well, as Mutalisks trying to finish off this location. There are the missile upgrades on those, or the armor upgrades on those missile turrets, but no additional +1 range, so that may become a problem. The planetary fortress, however, does have a natural 5 armor, so that will be very, very difficult. And will any splash damage be dealt towards this missile turret? Does not look like it. We do see a Thor now being dropped into play here. Will that Thor be able to deal enough damage across any of those Mutalisks? No. The Mutalisks are now hovering along the side in the air. Additional missile turrets now being placed down. SCV coming in to repair a supply depot. And now this game is still continuing. The Nidus network has a whole bunch of units inside it. I wish I could see more units. There's no reason why the Ultralisk needs to be that big in a Nidus network. The Nidus network has infinite space, so perhaps that could be a request into Blizzard. Don't make these Ultralisks. Like, I want to see really how full this Nidus network is. Back over here, we do see planetary fortresses, and a lot of barracks in the air. Those barracks not able to really do anything at all. Taking a look at the hotkeys, and actually, never mind. Stay tuned for part 3 of this replay between Wacomm and OGS TheWind here on Lost Temple.